Hi, everybody. I am Soneca Guadara, and welcome to my Soneca Chats. I thought it would be a great, way to, in this uncertain times, to keep us connected with other people and talk about things that we could, that we need to know about, such as hair. So, in a few moments, I'm going to introduce celebrity hairstylist, Brandon Liberati. And I have some questions. If you have some questions as we're talking, let me know and I'll try to make sure I ask Brandon. But I'm really excited. He's going to be coming to us live from sunny, I hope it's sunny, Palm Springs. So this is a treat. For those of us here on the East Coast, it's not that great of a day. So I'm hoping that it's great. So, hi. All right. So I'm going to get. So oh,
Hey,
hey, how
how are
are you?
you? How's it going?
Oh, everything is going well so far. How about yourself?
Good. It is absolutely. In fact, today I think is one of the hottest days. It's supposed to start cooling down, but I think it's already 105 outside here. So
What? Well, you're in
it's,
Palm Springs, right?
yes, very hot. Yeah, can't you tell? It's like very Palm Springs,
I love the
but
vibe. I mean, the pool. I was like, are they at a hotel or I couldn't? It's
well,
very rested.
we were just a quick. We were in a very small apartment in LA. Just
Okay.
up until 2 weeks ago, we were buying a house
Hmm.
and we had put in our notice and everything, and then all this hit. So we
Okay.
had to move. Our house is not done, and we were displaced. So Acme House Company, and that's whenever I have a lot of my photo shoots and my
Mhm.
birthday parties and stuff, I stay at these houses. So they were great enough to take us in until our
Okay.
house is done. So yeah,
Oh, well, it's beautiful. It looks gorgeous. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to be in 100-degree weather, but it sure beats the weather here in the New York
yeah.
City area.
It's a little dramatic for even here. Like next week, it goes back down to what it normally is at this time of year, which is in the 80s. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. But there's no humidity, so it doesn't feel
no,
so terrible, correct?
yeah,
Okay.
it's dry.
Okay.
It's good. And you know what? I have to apologize. I slaughtered your name because instead of saying Sonica, I say everything with like the Italian accent.
Okay.
So yeah,
No,
so I
that's
would say
fine.
Soneca.
Well, that's okay. That's good too.
Yeah,
So thank you for coming on. I thought like this was a great time to do something like this to connect with other people. Being I'm in fashion and style, you're in beauty and hair. I thought it would be a great way to tie, since we can't
yeah.
like be out there, right, doing our thing, maybe we can do this together.
Give back a little bit. And I met you
Yeah.
at back in the green room at the huge BravoCon at the biggest Watch What Happens Live.
I
So
know. And we were
yeah,
and we were the chosen ones to be there because they only were allowed to have a plus one.
one, yeah. So which was
So
which was great.
yeah, no, I mean, you stayed the whole weekend. I had to leave later that evening because I had, I think, like a 9 a.m. flight to Arizona the next morning. So I wasn't able to stay on with Dolores for the whole weekend.
Yeah, I didn't end up going to the BravoCon when they did all of the
Um,
different meetings. I went in and did her hair. I had some other photo shoots and things I was doing in town
Okay.
as well. So yeah.
Right. I'm sure. So let me tell everybody a little bit
Mhm.
about Brandon. Welcome everybody. I know people are jumping on, but so you are a hair celebrity stylist,
Yeah.
and you're based out of the California area, but you do come to New York City. I mean, you'll fly anywhere,
Yeah,
right?
I usually tell people that my husband and my male go to LA, but now Palm Springs. So, but I work in San Francisco 1 week out of the month. That's actually where my career was before I moved to LA, and I work in New York and London, and
Oh,
and Las Vegas. I have an agent in Las Vegas as well, so I'm all over. Yeah.
oh, David Yontif just said hello. He said
Hey,
to say
David.
hi. So yeah, so that's interesting. So and you're also so how long have you been in the hair industry?
Hair's the only thing I've ever done. So
Okay.
yeah, the way I got into it was, was very interesting. I was the only boy, the oldest, and in a family of all girls. My mom was a single mother, and so I helped. Very particular about the way we looked, and I just helped her do my sister's hair, and I was good at it, and I loved it. And yeah, so that's what I've done. And to put myself through school, I also say
Yeah.
I'm a beauty expert. To
Yeah,
put my
and that's why
Yeah.
I was like a little confused because I'm like, I thought you were only a hairstylist, but then as I was doing a little research, I saw the beauty part coming up. So I'm like, oh, maybe you do makeup also, and I wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, so makeup put me through hair school. I've
Okay.
worked for Mac, Makeup Forever, and then I was the account executive and account coordinator for
Mhm.
uh, Benefit Cosmetics.
Okay.
And yeah, so I started out as a makeup artist, and I love makeup because I am an artist. I love painting and drawing, but it's not my passion. I love hair more, and
Okay.
but I am a licensed esthetician, being a
Hmm.
cosmetologist, and I love skincare. So I really go in. My passion is for doing things that are a little bit more natural, and
Hmm.
and if it's not natural, less invasive. So,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know,
I like that. Yeah.
yeah.
And I mean, and you've worked with a slew of different celebrities. I mean, obviously Mercedes Javid from Shaws of Sunset. She's one of your, I think she's one of your good friends as well, correct?
Yeah,
You've
she's
become,
one of my besties now. Yeah.
yeah. And I know I couldn't believe it when you dropped that you worked on the video for Lady Gaga.
It was such an
And,
amazing
like, can you
experience.
tell us about that? I mean, it
Oh,
was stupid love. I mean, that was amazing.
yes, it was crazy. I got the call, and they were like, it's top secret. Can you leave for 3 days? And it's
Mhm.
undisclosed. You have to meet us here. Got on a bus, and we were out in the desert for 3 days, and it, that to work out and in the glam tent where I was in there with Michael Anthony, who is Katy Perry's makeup artist, Rob Sheppy, who
Mhm.
does Madonna. They're just, I was just in this collective of creatives that were mind blowing. Richard Manna for Joico, Frederick Aspiris, who does uh, Lady Gaga's all her wigs,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Sarah, her makeup artist. So it was great. It was just
Oh
an
my God.
incredible
It was
experience.
amazing. So that was a wig that she wore, right? Was it a
Yes.
wig? Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, lots of wigs. Dancers had wigs. That there was a lot of wigs happening. So that's what we were there doing, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was amazing to be a part of such a creative experience,
Yeah.
and yeah, very
I
grateful. That's the thing that, pardon me.
I'm saying I could imagine working on that set.
Oh
I mean, we're talking Lady Gaga to begin with, so it's over the top.
yeah, it was just a dream, and the year started out so fast, and with such a big bang. That was one of the
And
last
then,
things I did before this
and then
happened.
boom. And then the
Yeah.
Big Bang took place, right?
Yeah. So I had actually, by the time February ended, I had actually had all my miles to be gold status. So yeah, so I had already done a bunch of stuff. So it's interesting being um, just in one place, sort of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an odd time. I mean, there's pros and cons to it, coming back to
Yeah.
home and reconnecting, um, with your family if you're staying with family. I mean, some of us can't be with family because of because of the
Yeah.
social distancing. Yeah, it's definitely a weird time, and I think it's going to be weird even as we start to progress,
And do you
getting.
do you do you find even with social media, because social media is such a big part of what I do,
Mhm.
and and expressing myself and showing my work, and uh, I'm having a hard time finding what is important. What people want to hear, what people want to know, and making it not feel redundant.
Right, right.
So
Well, I mean, and I think that's where a lot of people were at. and maybe in the beginning, some people were like, oh, should I continue? Like life is just normal. But
Yeah.
from the beginning, I was like, whoa, this is weird. I can't like pretend I'm somewhere that I'm not, or
Yeah.
we're living this great lifestyle. So I know I haven't been posting as much, obviously, but when I do, I'm just trying to make it, I think for most people, like you just have to like can't worry about the brand as much, right?
Mhm.
Because this is the reality we're living in. So I mean, that's kind of like I thought to myself, I do a lot of style tip videos, but this is a great way to connect with people, and this is actually live,
I
and
love this. So
we're
thank
kind
you.
of in the same industry, so I'm trying to keep it connected. A lot of people don't know your history, so I thought it would be great to talk about that, and then we can talk about
Yeah.
home care while we're
Well,
here at home.
thank you for doing this, and thank you for asking me. It's the first live that I've done. Tried to do tips and doing a little thing, getting back into it because I feel like enough time has passed. But
Right.
yeah, so thank you for doing this. And David, I did David's podcast,
Yeah,
which was really
yeah,
nice. So just just trying to find things that keep people motivated,
right,
and
exactly.
I'm navigating that. So
Right, 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 right. Oh, my girlfriend from London just joined on. Hi, Noel. Hi.
yay.
It's pretty late out there, so
Yeah,
thank you for
right.
joining. Um, so, all right, so we have this great history, and so obviously you just worked with Lady Gaga on that. Is
Mhm.
there any other celebrity that like still like, you still always remember when you worked with them?
Um, I I mean, always your first one, I think, is makes such an impact. So, the first one that was big for my family
Right.
was Giada De Laurentiis. I don't know if anybody watches the
Oh,
Food
yeah.
Network. Yeah.
Oh my
So
God. In fact, I'm sure maybe a lot of people have I know I've been making some of her recipes.
yeah, and I was actually on one of her Giada at Home episodes, and so I did her hair for the next Food Network star for a
Mhm.
lot of different things. So that was my first. Um, Celebrity that my family, I've come from an Italian family, and you know,
Right,
if it wasn't Bravo on TV all the time, it was the Food Network. So there was
right,
always that in the background,
right,
and
yes,
yeah, so that was my biggest moment.
right.
Um, I can't say it was my favorite moment,
Okay,
but
okay.
it was my, it was the one.
You remember that. Yeah, so that's great. That's good to know. So, and I know in between you work with great models. I thought you worked with Rose McGowan. Did she do a video? Oh,
So she just released an album, and
wow.
it's actually really good. It's I'm a huge 80s buff, so it has kind of an 80s feel.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did the cover of a magazine, Posture magazine, for Rose McGowan, and what was interesting is we did that magazine, and the cover came out the week all of this
Um,
stuff went
okay.
down. So
Right,
it
right, right.
was it was a big thing. Yeah, she's
Yeah, yeah.
she's very creative. I That was one of those moments. I loved Jawbreaker, Charmed. My niece is named Piper after it, so
Okay. Yeah.
so that was a cool. She was a cool one. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I didn't even know she did music. So that was really interesting.
yeah. I think that this is her first album. I know she's
Oh,
been on
oh.
other people's singles that they've had or tracks, but
Right, right, right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, no, I thought, and then I just wanted to really quickly before we start talking more
Hmm.
about hair, like I noticed you did this amazing look on this model, I think Olivia Arbin on her waist.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
wait till that comes out. Now that actually, we did a fashion film in London,
Okay.
and that's using a ton of designers like Milan Breton, who
Mm.
had his own show on Bravo as well.
Okay.
He's a designer, and yeah, it's a very cool fashion film. So
Okay.
there's a lot of different wigs and looks. And
Oh,
Olivia Arbin, I think, she did the cover of Bazaar, in Europe.
okay.
So
She's
yeah,
beautiful. I didn't really know who she was, but she's gorgeous.
yeah, her sister did her makeup, Natasha. So
Oh, really?
it's a beauty based family.
Okay. Oh wow. So okay, so I guess we can like lead into like the hair things, and I'm gonna go through some questions because I had people like give me questions in my story. But like talking about wigs, because like I was just wondering, like, are there good wigs? Like I think of Kim Zolciak from
Oh yeah.
wigs. So I wouldn't even know where or how to buy a wig that like I mean her hair looks amazing all the time. I would love to if I have a bad hair day, just grab my wig.
Wigs are, you know, whether you love or hate them, I think the
Mhm.
Kardashians have really changed some of the things that we've done in the hair industry.
Okay.
You know, and wigs being one of them. It's now, you know, I know like ethnic women have worn
Hmm.
wigs all the time, but
Exactly.
you know, people, other cultures, it hasn't been it hasn't been popular, and they didn't
Right.
really even know much about it. So the the Kardashians, you know, Kylie, Kim, they really started making these looks, yeah, mainstream.
Yeah.
So wigs, I think, are if I was a girl, it would be a staple in my closet because there's so many different kinds. There's like,
Right.
I
No, I know. I just know like they can be very expensive if you get a really good one, right? Because they're human hair and
they
if
can
you
be
get
expensive. Like I did Paula Abdul's residency at the beginning of the
Mhm.
year
Did
in
you?
Vegas, and her,
Yeah.
you know, she wears a lot of wigs and extensions, and all of them do. Like
Right.
to be honest, I've never really done. Uh, I've worked on very few people that I'm not putting extensions or wigs.
Okay.
So she had a very expensive one. Like I think it ran her between 5 and 7 grand, but it
Wow.
was one that she could dance in and move around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, amazing.
you can get one nowadays for
Mhm.
under $100.
Really?
That, yeah, especially because it's not going to be something that you're wearing every day, and you know they're easy to take care of. And I think that the hair, they've even made some great blends, synthetic and real hair blends
Oh, do they?
that, yeah, that are less expensive, and you can still curl them and flat iron them. So
Oh, wow.
definitely,
Maybe that's like something you can do one of your tips on your on talk about wigs because I would love to get one. I
yeah,
would love to.
I just did a few days ago. I posted it on TikTok and on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, the clip-in bangs.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah,
I texted you about that and you put me in touch with Vicky, I think
Vicky.
it's
Yeah,
and then she DM'd me, but then I haven't heard back from her. So I don't know if she can get me one or not. So hook me up.
she can. I actually just talked to her. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So the bangs,
I
that's a
want the
huge.
chicken bangs. Yes.
It's huge, and I use those in. I mean, so many models, so many photo shoots. You
Hmm.
know, even red carpets. It's one of those things where you don't have to commit to it, and they're so easy and look
Yeah,
great.
and it changes your look. I mean, I
Completely.
so like tying in hair and fashion style, like to me the whole look, it's all about completing the whole look, right, Brandon? I
Exactly.
mean, it's not just the outfit because the outfit's telling a story, so how you wear your hair, and even for
Mhm.
men as well, if they gel it, if they did, I think it's all a story. So
Well,
I would
I
love to have hair, I mean, women do, like you said, extensions, so why not have like bangs and wigs?
yeah, I think a good visual for people that of what you just said is, you know, when you watch like the Academy Awards or you're watching a red carpet and somebody comes out and you can tell that the team didn't work as a collective or as a team. You know, their
Hmm.
hair on its own would look great. The
Right.
you know, the gown, the dress,
Right.
the makeup. So like you said, it's a story, and I think when people aren't working together,
Hmm.
it's off. And you
Right.
know, I see it a lot, and definitely,
Yep.
you know,
And
yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised like people like that don't tie it in. I'm you know.
personally, I think what happens sometimes, and I'm sure you
Hmm.
know this, when you're working with a celebrity, you know, a lot of times they're going into these events, they're nervous. They, you know, they're under a microscope. I think that they're nervous about the way that they look, and I think sometimes uh, I know one thing that I've gotten really good at is how
Hmm.
do you say this politically? So, um, steering people in a direction that
Okay.
they feel comfortable and is also my professional opinion. So I think
Oh,
sometimes people don't exercise that
okay.
with some of the people that they're working with, and they let them do exactly what they think is good for them. And
Okay.
I know that that's happened a few
Okay.
times with people that I've seen, and I've talked to the makeup
Right.
artist or the hairstylist that worked on it, and they were like, yeah, no, this person,
Wow.
that we were working on wanted this, and it just
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, it doesn't,
Doesn't flow. It's not flowing. So
no,
there has to be like all lines of communication almost. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
What, like what do if I'm the person being styled, I'm the celebrity, how am I feeling, right? This is the
mhm,
dress I chose, and then how can we work like, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling. Can we make it work? And
mhm.
and what are suggestions? Rather than like what you're saying is like, so this person does this person does that, and then it's a mishmash,
Yeah,
beautifully separately done, but
yeah,
then
collectively.
and then the celebrities dying that everybody's making fun of them, right?
Yeah, well, and I think sometimes they're like, I cut hair, so I'm also an educator for Hanzo, and I work behind the chair, so I am a behind the chair hairstylist,
Okay.
and it's when you're cutting hair too, and when you have clients, and this is one thing that I like, that I still do
Mhm.
work behind the
Yeah.
chair, because I have to listen to what they want, what they're comfortable in, but
Hmm.
it's also my job to push them, and keep them current,
Right.
and keep them not, and not without anxiety, like,
Right.
because
Right.
there are some
Yeah,
people
you
that,
don't want to give somebody like if you're telling them bangs and they really have anxiety about it, like maybe like get them the clip-ins to see if it's
yeah,
something that's going to work. Right. No, I totally get it, but yeah, because there's some people who are just like it's like the same haircut over and over again. And I mean, unless you're like Lisa Rinna, who it's classic and it looks great, some people just need to go with the times.
but Lisa Rinna also will throw on, I mean,
Oh, she
well,
does.
like when we saw her at
Yeah.
the Watch What Happens Live, she had
Yeah.
that slick, long, braided
Yeah.
uh, ponytail. So I think
Okay.
that she's also willing, that's become a brand. So I think that her hair is part of her brand,
Right.
which is different than somebody who, um, I think, is scared to go out of a box.
Right.
And
Right.
like, we'll see a prime example. I love her. I think she's beautiful and classic, but Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
You
Oh,
know, she's got beautiful hair. It's a brand. She she doesn't have to stray away from it.
right.
It's very forgiving.
But, no, I mean,
Um,
she looks great, and I mean, she's timeless. I mean, look at her.
yeah,
She looks fabulous. No, but it can be sometimes a little boring. Do you know what I mean?
uh,
Like, I'm just like, oh, but
yeah. You know what to expect always. You're never
oh, you
pushed.
know what? She would have. Could you imagine if she did when she was on the show, the Rachel haircut? I know. I remember I had to have that haircut.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I
so,
cut.
right? Like, did you do a lot
So,
of people with hair like
oh
that?
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, that was like the haircut to have. But then she let it grow out, and then and it's just been the same haircut. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So
Yeah, so
yeah,
totally.
so wigs
So,
are a must.
okay. So I like how you said you still work behind, like, so you're not
Mhm.
just working with the hobnob or wealthy people, like you'll work with regular clients, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I love I love all people. So
So do you have like a salon that you'll work at, like that or is it like you know what I mean? Like that you'll know the third Tuesday of every month I will be at so and so from 1 to 3 kind of thing. Do you do anything like that?
I'm in. I'm normally in San Francisco. It it's usually the second to third week of every month. So
Okay.
I do a 4 week rotation. So
Okay.
every 4 weeks. So I have people that get their haircut 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks,
Right,
and
right.
I did that before I moved to LA. I moved to San Francisco in '96
Okay.
and built a clientele up there in Silicon Valley. A lot of the Silicon Valley big wig techie
Okay,
people,
I'm sure.
Google,
Yeah.
the Fidels who invented Nest. I stayed with Steve Young and his family, and um, a couple other great families up there yeah. So I do sports, players.
Wow. So you're definitely San Francisco. And what about here in New York? Is there a salon that you work out of here?
So New York, Andreas Anastasi Salon.
Oh,
I will come in down there. It's on
right.
Perry and Bleecker.
People, you come and get Brandon to do
Yes.
your hair. I mean, I think I might have to have you do my hair. You know
Yes.
who's done my hair before? Justine Marjan. She's cut
I
my hair a couple of times, and she actually gave me that the Chloe cut, the short, and then
oh
she cut
yeah.
my bangs. She took me out of my comfort level.
Now, do you see her in New York? I love her. I've never met her.
She is, I have to tell you, Brandon, she's like you, super nice. And the people who she works with, well, it's like
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like she's
yeah,
super, super sweet. Um,
yeah.
and
I love, I love, yeah, I love her work. I love my Kitsch. She's done a collaboration with hair jewelry with them.
does the barrettes and stuff like that. But yeah, she's cut my hair. But honestly, like she did it maybe 3 or 4 times, 2 years, and then going back, like maybe
Mhm.
every 6 months she would cut my hair. But now she's just too busy. When she comes to New York, she's doing, I think, the fashion run, the
Yeah. So
runway show, and then
yeah,
she has clients that they're her steady clients that they travel her everywhere. So I don't think she's cutting as much as she would like to.
yeah. I don't think she's behind the chair, is she? Is she just
Well,
doing it at people's
like so
houses?
what she would do, like I would DM her and she would say, okay, like I have, like say during New York Fashion Week, that would be like her time. She would say, okay, I'm going to be at Cutler's Salon, the one
Uh-huh.
down in Soho,
Yeah.
and she would be there like, from this time to that time. But I did everything with her. Like she didn't have an assistant. It was great. Like everything was between her and I.
See, I don't work with an assistant. It's just me.
Right.
And it's the same thing. I'll go there and I'll do a day.
Right.
I'll get as many people in a day. And then I see a
Yeah.
lot of people at their houses. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so very good to know. So you guys, Brandon is the man, and
Right.
hopefully, we'll eventually get our hair done, like,
Yeah.
because people are dying to
Well,
get their, and that's what we're going to talk about, like some
yes.
home care. So, I know you've talked about this, but we'll talk about it on this live. People getting their hair cut at home. What are your thoughts on that?
So when I did my little live or my little
Yeah, I
post
saw that.
about it, um, I was getting DMs about it, and we were literally 10 days into quarantine.
And
And
people were,
yeah, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't even see my clients with short hair at this time. I was like, settle down. If this keeps going, then, we'll talk about what you can do at home. And I was like, for now, um, I've had my clients focus on doing things that they haven't been able to do,
right,
care of their hair,
right.
conditioning, not doing
Mhm.
hot tools,
Right.
extending their shampoos,
Okay.
brushing their scalps, doing scalp, cleansing
Right.
with
Like, so what kind of brush would you recommend for that? Like,
Mason Pearson.
yeah, they're the
Yeah,
best. I
it's the
mean, for those
reason
who
it's
are out
been.
it's an amazing brush. It's not cheap, that's for sure.
No, and there's a
But it's
reason it's
good.
been around, yeah, for so long.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, they're natural bristles, correct? Yeah.
Yes, and you know, I like I gave Mercedes MJ the teeny one. Just
Hmm.
you don't have to get the big
The big
paddle
one.
brush. Yeah, so the smaller ones, it's under $100. So, but I think
Mhm.
that that's
Yeah,
definitely a must.
yeah, no, that's definitely must. So really quickly, David, he chimed in and from behind the velvet rope, and he said he needs that wallpaper behind you.
I know, right? Look at this. It's
I
so
feel
good.
that looks kind of like the Jetsons, right?
Yes,
Like,
it's very Palm Springs. All of these houses have these different themed rooms, like all the shag, the artist shag,
right.
the wallpaper.
I
Yeah,
know
it's
I
quite
have
fabulous.
I have to, I mean, once we're allowed to get out and I feel the waters are safe to, I will definitely be coming to visit you in Palm Springs.
Yes, I think Palm Springs will be a great place for people to come to because I don't think they're going to be wanting to go where crowds are.
Right.
So, like, this house has a putt, like a little golf putt right outside this window.
Really?
Yeah, the little bag toss, the pool's
Mhm.
gorgeous. Yeah, so yeah, it's great.
Oh, it's so funny. A friend of mine, she's a celebrity nail stylist, and she just asked me if you ever need somebody to do nails. Or
Always,
anybody.
always. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, because she's been hit pretty bad too with this whole thing, you know what I mean? And she also does travel. So the two things, like the nails with her clients and traveling, is shut down.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this looks like coming out of this, you know.
Mhm.
I so back to what you were saying with home hair care.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't cut I can cut my own hair. I haven't cut it. So I'm
Okay.
like, I think I said this in that video. It's been in solidarity with my clients, and I usually have short hair. So
You didn't teach Craig how to like cut your hair for you?
I would let Craig cut wrapping paper. It's like, no. You know, he's getting a haircut, but for me, I'm I'm keeping this going until I get to a point where I'm like, and you know, I'm somebody who usually has very short hair. When I get to a point where I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, this is getting a little much,
Mhm.
then I'll probably do some things or talk about it or see what people want to know. But you
Right.
know, my opinion is,
Oh, somebody from India just said they love you, Brandon, and they love your work.
oh,
India,
mwah,
hey people,
thank you.
hey.
um, I I think since we're supposed to be at home, we're staying at
Mhm.
home. We're not going anywhere. I
Right.
I get unless you're doing. I think that people that are doing, um, like Craig yesterday did a bunch of talk shows here in the house on Zoom.
Mhm.
If you're doing tutorials and you're doing things like what you're doing, photographing yourself, I can
Mhm.
see that there's a little bit more of a need to get
Right.
ready. But you know, I really just think if you're staying at home, you
Well,
should
I
go
love like
ahead.
if you can, obviously you were kind of visually showing it on your
Mhm.
channel. I think I saw it on Facebook, but you were saying like the conditioning when we do a deep
Yes.
condition. I loved, tell everybody that tip with the towel because that was so cool. I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this.
Yeah, so you know, this was like you were saying, one of my tips was don't worry about cutting your hair right now. Really start worrying about the condition of your hair, and there's things you can do at home.
Hmm.
And one of those things is we all have conditioners and masks that we bought from our hairdressers that are sitting in the drawer. We don't know what the hell we're doing with them, or how many times a week to use them. Pull those out. Packets. I have hundreds of packets
Me
that I get in,
too.
like, you know,
I
if you
get
get,
samples all the time.
yeah, or you know, if you even get like Fit Fab Fun boxes or Birch
Hmm.
Box, or all of these have,
Right.
you know, these little packets. Um, Wet your hair, you know, towel
Right.
dry it so it's damp.
Right. Okay.
Put in a heavy conditioner, a moisturizing conditioner, or a mask.
Okay.
Uh, Wet a towel, a hand towel, not a
Yeah.
big towel, but a
Yeah.
hand towel. Wring it out really well. Put it
Mhm.
in the microwave for 30 seconds. And
Wow.
yeah, just so it's steamy, not fried.
I love that.
Yeah, wrap your hair up in it and sit for 20 minutes. The heat from the towel will open
Hmm.
up the cuticle. It'll really penetrate
Wow.
that moisture. And you know, you that is a deep condition that we would give in the salon under a
Like a
heat,
heating, like a lamp,
yeah,
right?
a
So I,
hood. So
so I love that. It almost feels like when you get your nails done and you have the heating towels. Do you know what I
ex-
mean? But
exactly. You know, when you're doing this stuff at home, again, I'm really into skin, so as well. So it's like, you know, put your towel on your head, put a mask on. 20 minutes, like after
right,
20 minutes, it's a
mhm,
little bit of your own timer.
right.
You know, take your mask off and you know,
A
rinse
lot.
your hair out. Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously, I've seen this across social media. A lot of people obviously aren't washing their hair as often as they normally
Yeah.
do. But let's just say life was normal. Like, how often would you recommend somebody getting their hair washed?
So it really depends on the length of the hair and what you do to it. So if you have curly hair, you obviously should extend it longer than somebody that doesn't have curly hair. Curly hair tends to be a little bit drier, and I think that what you're trying to do is the shine is what's important when you have curls, or if you have chemically treated hair that is being styled, heat styled all the time. I do believe that you should not shampoo as much, because what you're trying to do is get your body to kick in the natural oils from that. So you know, somebody like me who has shorter hair, wears a lot of product, then, you know, I should shampoo more, but I'm getting myself down to now I'm shampooing once. Obviously, I'm not fixing my hair every day, but once every 3 days I'm shampooing, which for me is a long time, because typically I was shampooing every day. I should be shampooing every other day. Yeah.
Okay. So you should be shampooing every other day, but now during this, you're doing it every third day.
Yes. So, and I'm getting myself.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, because we need our oils to go through our hair, correct?
Yes. So when I first got into quarantine, this is what I was saying. I was, you know, extending my shampoos, and I noticed my scalp was getting so gross and dry and flaky, which is just a reaction of my scalp. It's so conditioned to what you're doing. You know, some people will get extremely oily, some people will get really dry. And then I just went to the brushing it every night. So
yeah, well, I mean, people, we have to do, I love the idea with the hot towel. That's a must, right? That's a super must. And getting a Mason Pearson brush. I think that's a real huge
really
investment.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of, if you guys follow me on my Instagram, I have an entire slew of hair hacks that I'm going to be posting. So
Yeah,
a lot.
you gotta be
And
putting,
skin. Not just hair, but skin as well.
So okay, so what about hair coloring? For people doing it at home, what are your suggestions or recommendations on that?
I do know that a lot of hairstylists, most of the hairstylists I know, that if you are getting salon color, you can contact your colorist and they will do home kits.
Yeah, yeah. I suggest that, but the do-it-yourself thing, I'm not sure about, right?
Yeah. So again, I think it's one of those things that I wouldn't do a blanket answer to. If somebody was just covering gray and they were just doing tint touch-ups in the salon, then I would call or reach out to anybody who's a hairstylist, ask them, send a photo. We could point you in the right direction to buy, if you were doing a salon, a box color. But yeah, if you're highlighted, I think you're going to spend more money trying to get a color correction and, you know, than anything. So, yeah.
All right. So I have some good questions that are popping up. Angie, new look. She said, great tips. She said, what do you think about dry shampoo?
I love it. I love dry shampoo, not just for the oil of the hair, but I use it for every updo. I use it for volume. I use it on my own hair. So
I use it today too.
Yeah, I love it. I think that it's an amazing. It is an amazing product. I don't know what we did without it. I do, however, it's not a substitution for shampooing. And so when people start using it to the point where, and I've seen it a lot, where it's 9 days in and they're still dry shampooing. Yeah, you're clogging your hair follicles. So then you're going to start creating hair density issues with overusage. So, and I also think if you're using a dry shampoo regularly, then you have to do a scalp scrub. So, and there's some ones that'll be some DIY ones that you can do at home with, just with granulated sugar and a shampoo or a conditioner. So just getting that out of your pores. Also, you know, there's some great products too that sell like R&Co, and I'm not sponsored by products. So you guys, whenever I'm telling you guys about a product, It
Right.
is
This is
actually something,
exactly.
yeah, I do. I'm no product. I get no paychecks from products. So R&Co has a shampoo called Crown,
Okay.
and it's an amazing scalp scrub. And I have a lot of my celebrities where, and typically too, I don't know if a lot of people know that when people do television spots or photo shoots, there's
Hmm.
always a lot of hair color that goes into the hairline, all
Wow.
over.
Okay. Hmm.
So, you know, I I also recommend if you're using any type of hair color, the hair color spray.
Okay. Oh,
That's
okay.
my sorry,
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
dry.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the
so somebody asked Cynthia, she asked, and I guess maybe it's in relation to the dry shampoo. She said, what about oil on the ends every day?
um I I love oil on the, and if your hair can handle it, it
Mm-hmm.
depends on what oil you're using. So if you're buying oils that are brands or products, or if you're using oils at home out of your own kitchen,
Right.
it really depends on what you're using. For example, like jojoba oils are just putting a band-aid on it. So it's there to make the hair appear to be glossy and shiny. The
Right.
the the compound, it's too large to penetrate the follicle, so
Okay.
it's just going to sit on there like a band-aid. Um,
Okay.
but if you use something like avocado oil,
Mm.
which your body actually, it mimics your body's own sebum, so it doesn't know the difference, so you won't
Mm-hmm.
break out from it.
Right.
It will actually penetrate the hair and heal it from the inside. So there's different oils that you can use at home. If
Okay.
you're using argan oil, just
Mm-hmm.
make sure that it is pure argan oil. A lot of these products that claim to have argan oil, yeah,
Right. So make sure it's pure. Okay.
yeah.
I have somebody else, Gianna. She said, is there a shampoo or conditioner that you recommend?
Um, it depends on your hair. So this is the lovely thing I think about living in this time that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Science is amazing, and there's actually a shampoo that is formulated for every single hair type or hair problem.
Right.
So there is, whatever you're experiencing, there is a shampoo out there that specifically will work for that. Um, a good example is take
Uh-huh.
Orbe, for example.
Right.
If you've ever seen the Orbe line, it's
Uh-huh.
ginormous, like the different
Right.
types of shampoos. And, it used to be back when it was one shampoo and conditioner for everything. So now,
Now there's just so many products. So
yeah, and they're formulated for so many different things. So the nice thing
mhm.
is,
Right,
if
right.
you don't know, ask your hairstylist.
Okay.
DM one of us on Instagram. I mean,
Okay.
we love to help people, and
No, no,
if
that
they
would be
don't,
great.
yeah.
Oh, and yeah, I'm getting a couple of compliments on your hair, by the way. Your
Oh,
hair is beautiful. I was asked
thanks.
by Nat Chava if you have highlights.
No, these are natural. Yeah. Oh,
I love it. I love it. Oh, Julie Kay, the stylist who works, with celebrities and on set, she
yeah.
asked me, what do you think is going to happen to you guys once we get out of this? Like, do you think they'll be able to social distance? What are your thoughts on that?
Um,
Looking forward for you, like
it
for your work.
it's gonna look different, which I'm okay
Mhm.
with. I believe that when we first start this, here's the thing, hairstylists, I think we're held to a higher standard as far as sanitation than even restaurants.
Right,
Uh, it's all about safety and sanitation, and that's what we take
right,
our exams for. It's
right,
not
right.
about how you cut hair.
When you're like, she wanted to, she's like, when you're working on set. So if you're like doing a video, like, do you think you're going to be able, like, do you think everybody's going to be able to be there? Or they're going to
I think
like,
that it'll be that you're looking at 10 people. Yeah, I think it's going to be 10 people. I'm sure masks.
right.
Yeah, and yeah, it's going to affect the the filming industry,
Right.
you know, in a big way. I don't work
Mhm.
on
Right.
movies. I'll do I it's it's not my passion. You know, it's
Right.
long days of just sitting there. So
Right.
that's
Right.
not something that I particularly do.
Right. Right.
Photo shoots, I don't think it'll change very much because there's usually stylists,
Yeah.
makeup,
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I know for Julia, she basically does the shoots, or she's working with her client, who's going for an Oscar, or she's at
Yeah,
cons, to travel with them to cons, while, they're getting their awards there. So I guess more like along your lines.
yeah.
But
I
probably
think that masks and um, yeah, who knows? You know, here's the thing too. There's there's different clients that I know really well, and I know their
mm-hmm.
how seriously they've taken this or not.
Right,
And you know, I think that there's people that I would exercise just like when this is over for
right,
even people in my own family. There's people
right.
that I'm going to exercise more caution with because I know that they're not being as diligent
Right,
as
you're not as responsible. That's why I
yeah,
tell people wear your mask when you're out, especially if you're in areas where there are other people. I mean, I know we're
yeah.
all crazy and we want to get out and it's a beautiful weather.
Mhm.
And I mean, we weren't, raised to wear a mask, so it's not in our DNA,
Yeah,
but we just got to figure it out because then what was the point of us staying at home for 2 months and doing all of this?
yeah. And
You know?
I'm I am excited to get back to work,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, yeah,
and like what you just said, because I do want to get back, I am going to be as responsible as I possibly can. You know,
right.
I think that, you know, getting your hair done should not be any more of a risk than, you know, going to the grocery store. I mean, it should be safer than that, if anything, because,
Exactly.
you know, it is so clean. So,
Well, I mean, I know, like, say, for instance, Georgia is one of the first states to open up. I'm curious, I haven't been able to follow up. I remember hearing some beauty salons that were going for it. They were going to take their customers' temperature. They were going to, like, only so many hairstylists in the salon, so many
yeah,
seats away. So, I mean, it's not the way what we want, because business wise, you're not going to be bringing in the volume, obviously, but
yeah.
we have to worry about staying healthy, I guess.
I, I also think that things will never be back to normal. So I think
Hmm.
there's going to be a new normal. You know,
Hmm.
the way we did things are, I think, forever going to be changed. I was watching this or reading this article, and they were talking about even when you watch a movie now, and you know
Hmm.
somebody like reaches in someone's food that they don't know. It's so now, you know, we're going to have a lot of post-traumatic stress
Right,
from
right.
this. I think it's going to
Hmm.
take a long time. Things are going to be very different. I think you're going to start seeing a lot of salons going down to suites where there's only one or
Right,
two people
right,
working together.
right, right, right.
So
Yeah, it's gonna be,
yeah.
it's gonna change. And I guess let me ask you one more question because
Mhm.
I didn't see their first question, but they mentioned something about the wet look. Maybe I don't know what products you use to create the wet look. I'm assuming that's maybe what they were asking.
The wet
Um,
look, I love the wet look. So for wet look for women on long hair,
yeah.
uh, yeah, you know,
I can get done. I'll use like one of those really heavy duty gels. I don't know if that's the thing to do.
so a gel is great depending on what you're doing. So like if I was doing a wet look for a ponytail, like a
Uh-huh.
really gelled wet look,
Right,
and then
right.
dry, like a dry ponytail,
Oh, yeah.
I would use gel and hairspray. But if you wanted something like, say, what Kim Kardashian, I'm just going to bring her up because
Yeah.
I that we've all know that didn't
Right.
she wore her hair that way to the Met,
Yes,
right?
she did.
She did a very wet look.
Yeah.
That is all done with oils. So different dry
Mhm.
oils, oil sprays. Yeah, so uh, Bumble and Bumble makes an amazing oil spray.
Mhm.
Way,
Right.
their rose oil, hair and body
Um,
oil.
right.
Um,
Mhm.
if I was doing a wet look that didn't, if they had longer hair and didn't want it to be crunchy and still
Right.
maintain a wave that I was giving them, I would use a lot of dry oil
Okay.
sprays and all of that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I mean, I like that look, so it's
Yeah.
very good to know. Because, like, again, going back to the whole story, I love, like, sometimes, like, what you're wearing, you just want to go for that wet look. I mean,
Yeah.
I love, for instance, J-Lo, right?
Oh,
Because she is a chameleon. She changes it up.
yeah.
She's, like, every which way, and I love that.
And Chris Appleton, her hairstylist, he's amazing.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
amazing. And her stylist, too.
Yeah.
Like, there,
And
she has
she
a great team.
talk about wigs and extensions. I mean, you rarely see her without hair
Oh,
pieces, wigs, extensions. So, you know, and which I think she looks fabulous. She always changes. She's a chameleon, but she always looks like J-Lo, which I think is what we were talking about, keeping someone in their where they're comfortable, but being able to stretch that, you know, all over
yeah,
the place.
yeah, she does. You're absolutely right. You know, you're never like, oh, who is that? We know
Yeah,
it's Jay, but she just, you know, she could be Jenny from the block, or she
yeah,
can be, you know, the Met Gala kind of
yeah.
Jay.
It's amazing.
Right? It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, yeah.
Charlize Theron also is that way for me. I think that I'm Adir, who does her hair. I mean, the fact that she has short hair, if you look at some of the things, the styles that they do with her hair being short, it's like it's incredible, you know?
Really?
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
I love her look. She has good hair.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because I feel like we've talked some great topics.
No, just, you know, everybody take this time. I really want people to take this time and do things that um you know, they normally don't have a chance to do. Focus
Right.
on the health of things, and you know, uh, be it your skin, your hair,
Mhm.
your body, your mind, your spirit.
Mhm.
You know, really take this time, because I I think we keep looking at it as being something's being taken away from us, but I
Right.
think we're also being given something that is a
Mhm.
gift. You know,
Right. And
you know,
that's what I kind of said when we first touched on. It's somewhat indirectly. I mean, we are going and going and going, right,
yeah.
Brandon? We are
Are we?
going, all of us. And it doesn't matter whether you have a family, you don't have a family. We're always like, we don't have time to
Yeah,
call our parents. Like, you know, it's
yeah,
it's it's crazy. So this is like really I think I hope people have been talking about it. So hopefully people don't forget about what we experienced and we can
yeah.
still um, be socially responsible and also appreciate home
Yeah.
cooked meals and spending time with the family.
Yeah, I think that you can't unlearn those things. So, you know, it's get used to treating yourself and your body with respect. And I say
Yeah.
do a deep condition on your hair, put
Mm-hmm.
some eye mask on, have a glass of wine, and you know, and
Yeah, that
enjoy this
sounds
time.
good. That sounds good. I need to do a hair mask, so I might do that
Do
tonight. You know,
it.
Friday night.
Yes.
I'll make a martini though.
I
Oh,
love that.
so I want you to plug where people can find you, Brandon.
Okay. You can find me at Brandon Liberati, and that's Liberati on everything. It's my name on everything, on Instagram, TikTok, uh, Facebook, you know, you name it. That's yeah. And
Yeah, okay. And then obviously if anybody's interested in getting your hair done, you know, once we get out of this rut, you
yeah,
know, please, right? You're great. You respond to DMs.
I
So
respond to everything. Yeah.
so I
Every
think
and I run my own thing. So every time somebody comments or asks
yeah,
a
no, you are.
question,
I have to tell you, people, like, I'm not saying it to say it, but like, if you follow Brandon and you like something and you comment, he's gonna like
yeah.
comment back and say, you know, and not just like an emoji, like you literally write back.
And it's me, it's not it's not somebody I'm paying to
Oh,
do.
you
So
don't have an assistant to help you with
no.
that?
No, I'm still a little bit of a control freak with all that.
So, well, I am super excited. This was really fun. We didn't have any
Thank,
awkward pauses going on. It was so natural between you and I.
yeah, I enjoyed it so much, and I can't wait. I will be in New York when this is done, and
Yeah,
we'll
so
go have a
guys,
martini in person, girl.
I'll see you here. Um, I have one of my older son. He goes to school in Santa Barbara. He just started this year, and I was supposed to go there in April, and obviously, look what happened. But so I plan to go out west. I know a lot of transplants from here who've gone out there, so I know a lot of people to visit. So you'll definitely be one of them.
Yay! Well, thank you so much,
No,
Soneca.
thank you. And I'm going to everybody. I know you mentioned some products or whatnot, so later on, I'm going to, you know, like maybe do screenshots of those products, and I'll tag
Yeah.
you and me what you recommended.
I love that. And like I said, if anyone has any questions, please ask. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody,
Thank you.
be
Mwah.
safe. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Han.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.